Indeed, an engaging conversation there on corporate governance and the fight against corruption that is being taken around the country, of course, focusing on the counties and trying to bring various stakeholders into the fold. Now to West Pokot, where the county has spent over 22 million Kenya shillings to revive its once thriving cash crop farming industry. In line with its goal to achieve food security in that county, the allocated funds will provide much needed support to farmers from various regions within. Take a look.
With the devastating drought that hit the country in 2017, residents are still experiencing the aftershock. And Area Governor John Lonyangapuo says that his government will not rest until dependence on food relief is unnecessary. Speaking after officially distributing tea seedlings and pyrethrum splits to farmers, he added that if empowered, farmers will be able to take advantage of the county's favorable climatic conditions.
Serikali ya West Pokot County tumeamua kupanda chai. Na tutapanda kwa wingi mpaka wenye hawakuamini wataamini.
West Pokot County Director for Cash Crops, Cosmas Korir, said that they had successfully approached various companies which are interested in buying the produce directly from the farmers.
Tayari tumepata wanunuzi kampuni 5 ambazo zimekuja. Hapa awali tulikuwa na PPCK ambao kitambo walikuwa Pyrethrum Board of Kenya.
Pyrethrum farmers in the county had uprooted the crop and ventured into planting other crops after the cooperative society failed to pay them their dues. One of the farmers, James Lorikwan, said he had lost hope in the crop after the cooperative society failed to pay him. Farmers can only hope that profits earned from the produce will lighten the load of extra costs, such as transport, once they receive the promised relief from the county. Tindiwe Yego, KTN News.
Inspiring story right there from West Pokot. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta last week signed the Equalization Funds bill into law, paving the way for the release of some 11.9 billion shillings that is reserved for marginalized counties for the first time since the promulgation of the new constitution. Remy Mwangi now interrogates the intrigues behind this near-decade delay and explains why the 14 disadvantaged counties are demanding for an additional 12 billion shillings next month.
As the National Assembly Cohesion and Equal Opportunities Committee convened 2 weeks ago, Treasury Principal Secretary Kamau Thuge was a besieged man, put on the spot to explain why from an initial allocation of 12.4 billion shillings for a special fund to marginalized counties, Treasury had only seen it fit to spend 1.1 billion, mainly on planning and mapping of intended projects.
The money is there. Give us, Parliament, give us the authority to spend the money, and those projects will be funded.
And on Friday, President Uhuru Kenyatta signed the Equalization Fund bill into law, unlocking some 11.9 billion shillings to 14 counties identified as marginalized, including Turkana, Lamu, Mandera, Wajir, and Marsabit. The new law now excludes the fund from government policy, where all budgeted expenditure has to be completed within the financial year.
A lot of contractors have already completed the jobs in constituencies, and they have waited for almost 6-7 months for payments. And so what this bill has done is to actually allow the government to do the spending.
The solution in the future is to ensure that fast tracking of the needs for these counties, is very important and for communities that are lagging behind in development.
But legislators, some from the 14 marginalized counties, are demanding for additional 12 billion shillings under the fund, insisting that the current allocation does not cover the first 3 years after the enactment of the new constitution in 2010.
We needed to appropriate 24 billion shillings to 24 billion shillings. However, up to today we're talking about 11.9 billion. This is the biggest question, that it means Treasury has never been allocating enough money to go into Equalization Fund as envisaged by the Constitution.
This is KTN News learned that a soon-to-be-unveiled reviewed formula could see the funds disbursed beyond the 14 marginalized counties. This will include sub-counties and slums in select urban counties. Commission on Revenue Allocation Chair Jane Kiriangai defending the move on grounds that persons living in slums are equally categorized under the marginalized and will also be entitled to a share of the fund.
Today, when they bring in a debate of they're trying to increase from 14 counties to, 34 counties, they're trying to talk about making every part of this country benefit out of the equalization fund. It is truly, it's for me and for many of us in the 14 counties, it's a total joke.
Now, with marginalization still biting huge chunks of the country, equalization fund remains a key remedy to the inclusivity query, even as Treasury prepares to remit what is evidently the first batch of those funds 8 years after the 2010 Constitution. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, in Parliament.
Informative stuff right there by our very own Wilson Muremi Mwangi. Now, a £2 billion grant from the UK's government's Global Challenges Research Fund has been launched in Kampala, Uganda. Through a connected network of researchers and scientists, this grant will be implemented in sub-Saharan Africa to enhance plant research and improve staple and cash crop production across the continent. Here's that report.
The army is waging a silent war. This time round, having found its way to Douglas Arama's farm. His hopes to harvest anything, reducing crop by crop.
I tried where I can. I tried to spray, but I never had money to complete the whole garden.
A subsistent farmer, Douglas is hopeful that the relevant authorities will act just in time for him to have a successful harvest.
I expected that they can help us with these modified seeds, which helps the plant to be strong, not to be affected with insects.
The armyworm's soundless rampage has affected crop yields in the sub-Saharan region and caused major losses.
Vector-borne diseases, particularly in Kenya and the region, has affected major food crop. The cassava mosaic disease and the cassava brown streak virus have also estimated to cause up to 100% diseases. But there's been a continuous program to be able to see whether you can get resistant varieties to be able to reduce the effect that is caused by these particular diseases.
With no quick fix in sight, researchers are meeting in Kampala in hopes of finding better farming practices to increase yields. The forum will provide funding for a wide range of short-term projects that might stop the pests from consuming crops.
And without very clear interventions, it means they are affecting directly the food security of the continent. We are grateful that through this connected project and through this collaboration, we will be able to make a contribution towards sustainable management of the virus-borne diseases. But above all, ladies and gentlemen, it's extremely very important that we also consider, like you have already considered, building capacity for the future.
According to World Food Programme, armyworms could cost African countries $6 billion a year in lost crops if not contained. And as these researchers seek to provide these solutions, the question remains how feasible it will be. Ashley Mazuri, KTN News.
Good job done.
Well, interesting stuff coming out of the region right there. To our last story now, the Coca-Cola company has celebrated its 132nd birthday globally, 90 years in Africa and 70 years of operations in Kenya. Now, marked as Founders Day, 8th of May 1886 was the day Dr. John S. Pemberton sold the first Coca-Cola for the first 5 cents in Atlanta, Georgia in the USA. In 1948, the company started operations selling imported Coca-Cola beverages from its plant along Addis Ababa Road here in industrial area in Nairobi before starting to manufacture and bottle the iconic beverage. With its 3 bottling partners, that of course is CCBA, Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, Almasi Beverages and Coastal Bottlers, the Coca-Cola system in Kenya employs over 10,000 people directly and supports an estimated 1 million people through its vast supply chain. This ensures that Coca-Cola products are always available within an arm's reach length through a network of more than 340,000 outlets right across the country. Indeed, happy birthday to one of the world's greatest brands right there. Well, on that note, we want to leave you right there for KTN Business Today. Today's edition, of course, we will be back again tomorrow at the same time with more from the world of business. Up next in just a few minutes is the news in Swahili from the KTN Swahili desk. That, of course, is Biu KTN. From us here in studio, it is Kwaheri ya Kuonana, and do stay with KTN News.